Hello friends, welcome back to New in Chess Classic Knockout Finals, which is being played between Magnus Carlsen and Hikaru Nakamura. It's the first game of day 2 match and it's a very back and forth game for both of them. We'll see what I mean. Let's start the game. Here Hikaru plays d4, knight to f6, c4, a6, knight to c3 and bishop to b4. Going for Nimzo Indian defense. Queen to c2, defending the knight. Here d5, striking in the center. C takes on d5 and e takes on d5. And here bishop goes to g5, pinning the knight. h6, attacking the bishop, and bishop goes to h4. Here c5 is played and d takes on c5. Bishop to e6, e3, and here black castles. And white plays knight to f3, going to d4 square. And here knight b to d2, d7 is played. And now knight to d4, attacking e6 bishop. And now this is a very rare move in this position. So here black spent some 4 to 5 minutes on this move, and finally bishop takes on c5 is played. And now bishop to d3, and this bishop to d3 is the new move in this position. In earlier games, knight takes bishop has been played. So now bishop to d3, and now bishop takes on d4. He takes on d4, and now queen to b6. Queen to d2 is played, indirectly defending d4 pawn, because if queen takes the pawn, then bishop to h7 will win the queen, because queen is undefended on d4. So instead black goes for knight to e4, attacking the queen and the knight. So bishop takes on d4 and d takes on e4. And here d5 is played, attacking the bishop. Bishop goes to f5, and now white castles. Here queen to g6, shifting the attention to the king side. And now white plays d6, with the plan of knight goes to d5 and then to e7, hooking the king and the queen. Now knight to e5 is played, and now bishop to g3, attacking the knight, and rook f to e8, defending the knight. Here white goes to b5 with the plan of jumping to c7, forking both the rooks. So rook a to d8 is played. Now queen to c3, just pressing more on the queen side. So knight to c6 is played to block the queen. Nonetheless, knight to c7, attacking the rook, and rook goes to f8. And now rook a to d1, just putting a rook behind a pass pawn is always good. And now black plays h5, just creating some chances on the king side. Here queen to c5 is played. Rook goes to d7, blocking the pass pawn so that it cannot be pushed further. And here b4 is played, with a plan to go b5 and dislodge the knight from there. Here black plays a6, stopping b5, and now a4 is played, just again threatening to push b5. And here black plays e3, and now black's plan is just sacrifice some material and to start an attack and to create some counter chances on the king side. And now f takes on e3 and bishop goes to e4, attacking g4, g2 pawn twice, only if this bishop on g3 moves somewhere. But if white plays something else here, then this h4 move will attack the bishop, and then bishop cannot move because queen to g2 will be checkmate. So instead white goes to d2, defending the pawn in g2 pawn in advance. So here king goes to h7, just a safe square for the king. And now white plays b5, attacking the knight and the pawn. So a takes on b5 and a takes on b5. Now knight to d8 is played, knight goes to d5 and knight to e6, attacking the queen. Queen goes to c4, and now h4, attacking the bishop. Here bishop knight to e7 is played, attacking the queen, and queen goes to g4, again threatening to win the bishop. So bishop goes to e5, and here knight to g5 is played. And now this is the position you want to see. Here if you play a move like rook to f4, this is a winning position for white because it is attacking both the king and the queen, and the bishop. And now even if you go for knight to h3 check, king to h1, and now knight takes rook, but queen will first take bishop with check. And now if black plays f5, so you can take the knight on f4, and now queen can be exchanged and pawn takes queen. And now if you look at the position, white has two pieces for the rook, and now there is no counter chances for black, so white will definitely win this game. So instead after a5 and knight to g5, black goes for f4, and now this move completely blunders the game for white. And in this position there is only one good move, which is winning for black. Now you can pause the video and try to find the move for black which is completely winning. Found it? The move is rook takes on d6, and after this move this is completely winning, because if you take the rook with the bishop, then knight to h3 check, king goes to h1, and now this bishop to g2 check, rook takes bishop, and now queen takes queen. White loses the queen and also will definitely lose the game because there is no compensation here for the queen. And if you do not take after rook takes on pawn, if you do not take with the bishop, if you take with the rook, now this is just checkmate on g2, so you cannot take with the rook, but you can move the rook to defend g2 pawn. But now here knight to h3 again, with check, king goes to h1, and now f4. And now black is really going solid here, and this knight on e7 has no retreating square. All covered twice. So here if white goes for queen exchange, then you can play d7 just to trap the knight, and white will definitely lose this game. But due to time travel, Magnus could not find the move. So Magnus played here knight to h3 check without the inclusion of rook takes on d6 pawn. So here king goes to h1, and now f5, just defending e4 bishop. Here white plays queen to e6, attacking d7 rook. So here knight takes the bishop and rook takes knight, attacking both queen and the bishop. Here black goes for a8, sacrificing in his queen, but if you take the queen, then rook to a1 will be checkmate. After you give d1 rook, then this will be checkmate, so you cannot go for the queen. But here white plays g2, king to g2, and most definitely Magnus missed this move, because after rook to a1, simply rook to f1 defends all threats. Rook takes rook, king takes rook, and now d8, just moving from the attack of the queen. And here white plays f3, attacking the queen. Queen goes to g5, and a pawn to d7, just pushing that pawn. Here queen takes on e3 is played, and now white just go for in a kill. Rook goes to g6 check, king to h8, and now king to h5 check. Queen blocks, and now queen to e8 check. And now if you take the queen, then white will again get a queen in the game. So king has to move, king to h7, and now queen takes rook. Here bishop takes g2 is played, just to ensure some perpetual if possible. And if king takes the bishop, then this will be a draw. Queen will take the rook with check, and no matter where the king goes, black queen will always check the white king. So that's why instead of taking, king to e2, defending rook as well. And here bishop to f1 was played, and now king to d1, not allowing any counter chances. And here Magnus Carlsen resigns the game, because there is nothing more in the game for Magnus. Now this d7 pawn will again queen in some time. So here Magnus Carlsen resigns the game, and this game goes to Hikaru Nakamura. And just this is one of the strategy. Prepare a nice line, surprise your opponent. They will definitely burn their time, and in time travel they will make a bad move. I hope you enjoyed the game. Thanks for watching. I'll be back soon with a new game. By then, stay safe and stay healthy.